handing you guys out notes, but would you also get out worksheet I? It is not due today. I just want to answer questions on worksheet I. Is that cool?
It's not due today. So don't worry.
I don't know. Because he wasn't allowed to explain.
Yeah, so it's not, but I just wanted to go over questions, help me help. I did not give you homework this week.
I know, not from you. Just from like my other Wednesday.
I abide by the rules. I believe in the rules, and they're put forth for you guys. I believe in them, so I will not ever give you homework over break.
What's ion? Is it just
What's ion? Well, it either gives off an electron or takes down an electron.
Yes. But what is section 6I?
Watch the video. INJ tomorrow, yes. Well, let's just see how we get through J on notes. Let's see how I get through going over the I. We'll make the overall decision at the end of the period if we take a look at it together. Okay. So there are a few of yous that still have a test to make up with me. So Olivia and Olivia. Ben's not here. Grant's not here. Thank you. Cooper. Cooper, second one. You have a test to make up with me. You know that.
Yeah.
Grant has a second one to make up.
Grant has 2.
All right. Yeah, but 6I, HI. So if I seem a little hyper, it's because I've had way too much coffee. I've had way too much coffee because I woke up this morning at 3:55. And I said, wow, it's dead quiet in the house. I can't sleep. Oh, I have papers I need to grade sitting on my desk at school. Boy, should I just fall asleep and get back up at 5?
Yeah.
No, you should go to school.
3 in the morning.
And I'm sitting there laying in bed going, I can't make my mind stop. I don't know if you get that problem.
I woke up at 5, just all
So-
sweating so much, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And I just took a shower. It was so gross.
One time I woke up at midnight thinking.
Sweating.
So next time I get up at 3 in the morning, I'll make sure I give you all a call saying, hey, guess who's up?
Yes.
All right. So letter I is not due today yet. It's not going to be due today at all. It'll be due tomorrow. But I want to answer any questions on worksheet 6I. What do we got?
What's it again?
Worksheet 6I.
My dog was a cute.
Worksheet 6I.
Also the only one.
Yeah, right here.
Can we do 18s or a? Oh my god.
Which one?
18.
18 I hear.
You should follow my dog on Instagram.
What? Number 18 on 6I. All right, so they want us to factor by grouping. We know it's going to be factored by grouping because there's 4 terms. Okay, now that doesn't mean that all 4-term polynomials you could factor, but usually in this class we'll direct you that way, saying, all right, let's factor by grouping. So if I take a look at those, it looks like I could factor an x squared out. That leaves me 3x minus 2. Make sure that sign comes through. Let's factor a 3 out. And that sign changes because I factored out that negative. Does that look okay so far? So then I have 3x minus 2, 3x minus 2. So I went from 4 terms to 2 terms. And so then I'm going to have 3x minus 2, and then whatever I have left. Make sure that's not the difference of 2 squares. It's not. We're factored. Done. What else would you like to see? Happy to work out any of them. Doesn't matter if you did it or not, because it wasn't due today. I just want to make sure if you had any questions on any of them. 28. Okay, find the real number of solutions of the equation's factor. Okay, so 28. Okay. In order to do factor by grouping, I have to have everything on the same side. So I have x to the fourth plus 7x to the third minus 8x minus 56 equals 0. Is that okay so far? So again, I have 4 terms, so we kind of lead you to do factor by grouping with these. So if I look at my first 2 terms, x to the third is absolutely right. That leaves me x plus 7, I believe. Did I do that right? And then the second part,
-8.
this has to come down as a negative, and a -8 is exactly right, and that's x plus 7. So I get x plus 7, and then x to the third minus 8. Is that okay so far? So I can go ahead and recognize, if this said just to factor it, I would actually have to break x to the third minus 8 down to x minus 2, quantity x squared plus 2x plus 4, which I'll go ahead and do. Hang on. So I recognize this as the difference of 2 cubes. Which is that? Is that okay? X squared, and the reason I knew that is that's the rule for difference of 2 cubes. So the x plus 7 gives me a real root. The x minus 2 gives me a real root. The x squared plus 2x plus 4 gives me a complex root, meaning it won't cross the x-axis in normal events. So I have a solution of -7. I have a solution of +2. That's where it cross a -7, 0, 2. You'd have 2 crossings there. And then this has 2 complex solutions, meaning you're going to have an I. So you have to use the quadratic formula or complete the square on it or something like that. Yeah.
So if you have one that has like x to the third in the parentheses, then is it always gonna have a complex thing?
No. It won't. So when you have sum or difference of 2 cubes, that always results in 1 real solution and 2 complex. Okay, but they have to be perfect cubes in order for it to take place. But if you have like x squared or x to the third minus 20, 20 is not a perfect cube, right? So that's possible that you could have irrational roots, meaning you don't, some decimal that's this big that we don't know where it ends.
But that's still a real number.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah, these would have, this would be an answer of like -4 plus or minus 2i root 3 over 7 or something like that. Less than you. What else do we have here? 19. Factor completely. All right, 19 is x to the 4th plus 3x squared plus 2. We're just factoring it. We're not solving it. This is going to work. I'm going to have x squared and x squared. And I go plus 2 plus 1. That works. If I add my middle terms, 2x squared and 1x squared is 3x squared. Works. And you can't go any further than that because that's the sum of 2 squares. We don't have the sum of 2 squares. We have the sum of 2 cubes. What else?
22.
2. Factor completely. Okay. Okay. First thing I'd recognize is it looks like 3 and x are in common on all the terms. Is that okay to say that?
Mm-hmm.
So here, I'll do this because it's Monday. No, it's not 27. 3. That's a 17. Sorry about that. And x squared minus 3 times 9 times x. Okay, so I just try to break it down in its parts. So they all have a 3 in common, and they all have a singleton x in common. So factor out a 3x. Then you're going to be left with here 2x to the 4th minus 17 x squared minus 9.
And then is that like as far as you can go?
Gosh, I don't know. No, it'll factor. I don't see the direct factors right away. So I know that I'm going to have a 2x squared and an x squared. That would get me the 2x to the 4th, agreed? And then I think I can go with a minus 9 here and a plus 1 there. Let's see if that works. That gives me negative 18x plus 1x. That worked. So then this can't factor any further, but the other one can because it's the difference of 2 squares. And you're done. Now, of course, we want to have the monomial out front. Some people stick it here. It's fine. It doesn't matter what order you have those in. Anything else? We're good on I? Okay. So, I would like worksheet 6I first thing tomorrow in class. Is that all right? So that'll be what I'll collect first, okay? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Everyone good? Is that big old packet of stuff making its way around?
Yeah.
Everyone get notes?
Yeah.
All right. So I think you'll like today's notes. Either I'm tired and it seemed cool to me, or it just seems cool to me. I don't know. We're going to talk about long division of polynomials. Now, before you're like, trust me, it's not bad. So, back when you're in elementary school, you might have seen this to be this, and then you're like, oh, okay, what number times 9 gives me 36, or as close to 36 as possible? In this case, we get 4. So we have 9 goes into 36 4 times with a remainder of 0. Okay, so you might have seen this as 4 remainder 0, something like that. Do you remember that terminology? This is like way back. Okay, and then the second one, it's a little different. I should bring it down here. So this one is 5 into 36. So you're like, okay, 5 goes into 36, like 7 times. That's 35. Subtract 1. Now, some of you might have put a decimal and a 0, and a decimal and a 0 is decimal and 0. But you could say this is 7 remainder 1. Or some of you in that advanced math, you're like, oh, you put a decimal, then you bring it down. Then 5 goes in that, you bring the decimal up. So 7 remainder 1 is the same thing as 7.2. Okay? Do you remember those? Which answer is the correct one? I don't know. This is your 3rd grade answer. This is your 4th grade answer. I mean, honestly, that's about the methods of the madness that they try and throw division at y'all. And then we've divided 2 polynomials so far by using, actually, we learned that synthetic division, right? So the synthetic division kind of made a lot of sense, especially when I was going through and I was grading your quizzes. A lot of you got it. The only time I see errors on synthetic division is like you have like a -1 and a 2 you add together and you tell me that the answer is -1. It just means you can't do arithmetic. Okay?
Who can?
I know. I can't count my ears twice to get the same number. It's horrible. All right. Do you trust me? Do you trust me? A little bit? That's all I need, just a little bit. All right, so we're going to divide this. Now, this looks nasty and ugly, but before you like start throwing stuff at me and call me bad names again, maybe it's just me saying bad names in my head. Okay, does anyone see anything that I might have added to this problem? I added a 0x squared. Does everyone agree that I added that? I just wanted my polynomial to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, is it like the thing we did last time?
All right, ready? You said you trusted me. How many items are right here? How many terms altogether?
3.
3. Y'all okay with that? So there's 3 terms, so I'm going to come over 1, 2. I'm going to come over here to the 3rd term. You still with me? I mean, there's the logical math. There's 3 terms, so come 3 terms over. Okay? Now, before you think this is the worst thing in the world, watch. I'm trying to make x squared. I have to figure out what I have to multiply times x squared to get 2x to the 4th. 2x squared. Who said that? Yay! 2x squared. Okay, so 2x squared times x squared is 2x to the 4th. Is there any debate on that? I'm not done yet. Is there any debate on that? Okay, so then I'm going to go 2x squared times negative 2x is going to give me negative 4x to the 3rd. Agree? And then I'm going to go 2x squared times 2, which is 4x squared. Okay, so I'm subtracting. Remember, I subtract these? Yes? Okay, so ready? 2x to the 4th minus 2x to the 4th, 0. Yay! I like when that happens. 3x to the 3rd minus minus. What's minus minus? Plus. So what's this going to give me? 7x to the 3rd. Awesome. Because it's a minus minus. And then this is going to be a minus 4x squared. So what's this going to give me?
Negative 4x squared.
Squared. I need to bring down my next term. You okay with that?
No. Wrong, Woody. Minus 1.
Wait, I have a question over here. Where are you stuck? So 3x to the 3rd, that's positive, right? Minus negative plus. And then this would have been minus a positive, so that's subtraction. And then that comes down. All right. Coming back up. Now, what do I have to multiply? What do I have to multiply x squared by to get 7x to the 3rd? 7x. Good so far? Okay, 7x times 7, or x squared is 7x to the 3rd. 7x times negative 2x is minus 14x squared.
Why would you not bring down the minus 1?
Oh, it's coming, because I only have 3 terms there, so I'm only going to use 3 terms at a time. And then 7x times 2 is 14x. So we're subtracting these again. Still good?
Well,
So, yeah.
where'd you get the second line? The 7x. What'd you do? I lost.
This one right here.
Yeah.
What do I multiply times x squared to get 7x to the 3rd? 7x squared. All right. Need to move it down a smidge.
So you do it again and then you
Yep. So 7x to the 3rd minus 7x to the 3rd. That's a 0. Yay. Minus negative. So that's going to be
10x squared.
plus 10x squared. Does everyone see that? Okay. And then this is going to give me minus 9x. Agree?
Did you bring down the 1?
And then I'm going to bring down that 1. Good. You guys are catching on. Okay? Last move. What do I have to multiply x squared by to get 10x squared?
10.
Positive 10. So 10 times x squared is 10x squared. 10 times negative 2x is negative 20x. 10 times 2 is 20. We're subtracting one last time. So that gives me a 0 there. That gives me a positive 11x, I believe. Minus 21. Now, you know you're done at this point because what can you multiply x squared by to get to an x? You can't. Got it? So your answer is whatever's up on top, 2x squared plus 7x plus 10. Is that okay so far? That's my answer so far. Plus 11x minus 21 divided by x squared minus 2x plus 2. You're like, where the hell did that all come from? That's the remainder, and that's the divisor.
Is that the answer?
That's the answer.
Oh, okay, so we don't need to explain that.
Which part?
What you just did.
The whole thing?
No.
Oh.
How you got the.
Okay, so the 2x squared plus 7x plus 10 is right here.
Okay.
Cool? And then my remainder is 11x minus 21, so that's on the numerator, and then my denominator is that.
I understand.
So this right here is right there.
Okay, it's not.
And this right here is right
I
there.
get it. Thank you.
Yay! Yeah.
Wait, so if the thing outside has like 4 numbers,
Then you move
you
over
go
4.
to the 4th one, and instead doing
We're not going to go that ugly. Maybe I'll just make that an extra credit. Have like a 65 digit, divide it into a 200. Like, dude, this is best 95 pages later. It's like I'm 4 pencils in. All right. That wasn't too bad, I don't think.
Is that all it is? Like, why do we have to do that though?
Oh, because it's
It's
fun.
math class.
Oh, because of
Why do
You didn't-
do anything in math?
Because I like it.
It's just life.
Here, the real reason is this. I sucked in math when I was in school, and I love it now, so you guys need to love it.
Right.
No.
Hey, look, my worst math grade was a 97%, okay?
Was
And
it
I'm
really?
still pretty upset about it.
Was it really?
No, it was 98.
I wouldn't
My
have
math
that.
grade was a 16.
All right. So remember that both polynomials must be in standard form. That just means they're in descending order. Yes?
Yeah.
Let's see. Leave. One coming back to you. Rachel didn't listen to instructions. Fiona, this one coming back to you. There's you. There's you. There's you. Pass those back. All right. So standard form, descending polynomial. Yes. So if your highest exponents to the 5th power, either the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, none. Okay. All right. So we could do this one of two. Well, actually, only one way. We have to do long division on it. I was going to say synthetic division, but my denominator, though it's a binomial, isn't a first degree or a linear binomial. So let's see if we can work this out.
Don't you go to the second number instead of.
You don't necessarily, yeah, you'll have to go to the second, but I don't have to have the linear term in here. Only the underneath you need to have your linear term. That's your x term. Okay, everyone feel good? Again, I could have 0x in this. I don't necessarily need it. But just realize you want to make sure things are going to line up with this problem. Okay, how many terms here? 2. So I start over right here. This is not a mathematical term right here. This is just me saying, hey, that's where I'm going to start. Okay? What times x squared gives me x to the 3rd? X. Okay, x times x to the 2nd is x to the 3rd. X times 5 is 5x. Notice where I put it.
You need a placeholder.
Does everyone see why I put that there?
Yes.
Because that was their x.
X squared thing.
Right. Everyone feel comfortable with that?
Yes.
So you
Yeah.
gotta
All right,
see
so
what-
this is subtraction. You with me still? That's gone. There's nothing here, so this just comes straight down. Is that okay? And then, what's this going to be? Minus 8x. Is that okay? Is that all good?
Yeah.
Anyone uncomfortable with that?
Did you multiply the 5 and the x squared plus 5 to get the 5x under the 3?
Uh-huh. Yep. And I made sure I lined it up underneath it. All right, so let's go back to the top. All right, what do I need to multiply times x squared to get 8x squared?
8.
It's positive 8, right? Cool, this one's almost done. That times that is 8x squared. Okay, plus 40. Oops, I need to move that over. Sorry about that. Okay. We're subtracting. That gives me what? 0. This comes straight down. This needs to have dropped down here. So that's going to give me negative 24. Now, is there anything I can multiply times x squared? Is there anything I can multiply times x squared to get to x? No. So my answer is this. X plus 8 plus negative 8x minus 24 over x squared plus 5. Where did the x squared plus 5 come from? Yeah, it's what I divided by. Where did this negative x plus minus 24 come from? It's my remainder.
Oh.
Why did you move
It
the
makes
40?
sense.
Because 40 can't be combined with an x term. I'm just putting like terms.
One question. When
Talk to me.
5x.
Where did 5x go?
5x come from?
X times 5, 5x.
Okay.
So x times x squared is x to the third. X times 5 is 5x. Huh. This is kind of purty. Can I move on?
Yeah. Let's do another one.
Doing it. All right.
Slowly getting.
Now, I would choose on this one to use synthetic division. Okay? Synthetic division's faster. And the reason I can use synthetic division is because this is an x. It's not an x squared. It's not an x to the third. It's just x. So when I use synthetic division, I'm going to divide by 2, because what you're basically doing is setting that equal to 0. Okay, so I have 2. Okay, remember in synthetic division, I have everything that should be there. Is that okay? And then when we did synthetic division, this comes straight down. That's like the biggest math term. What happens there? It comes straight down. What? I did that on a math test in 4th grade. They didn't give me points. All right, 2 times 3 is 6. Combine those. What do I get? Positive 4, right? That gives me 8. Combine those, I get?
Why didn't you do it?
Because it's a linear binomial. So
How
I
am
can,
supposed to know that?
because it's x to the first power. That's linear. All right? So if I wanted to go back and say, hey, what's the answer to this? Well, this was x to the third originally, but now it's going to become to the second because I divided. Okay?
Wait, why would it become x to the second?
Okay. So if I had this written this way,
Oh, okay.
if I did it this way, I come over 2 terms, say, okay, I'm going to multiply it. That's going to become a 3x squared, right? So the synthetic division, because that was a linear component, it was x, it was a binomial, it was x to the first power. Synthetic division allows us to do it. Does everyone see where this came from? I could go through this and do the long division method this way, or I could realize, hey, synthetic division works. It's a really great, cool shortcut that works as long as that is a binomial that's linear, meaning it's to the first power. So this answer here, notice, you see where the x minus 2 came from. It's what I divided by, right? Where did the 15 come from? That's my remainder. Okay, so this is the same type of answer. It's 1 degree less because what we're really doing is we're dividing it long division-wise. So if you go, x goes into something, it has to become 1 less degree. Yeah.
So there's a remainder.
Yeah.
So can you only do it that way if there's no x to the second power? It's just x.
Yep. So let's put a little note right here. Because it's x to the first, it works. If it was x to the second or x to the third or x to the fourth, it's not going to work to do that when you divide by. What happened? Did I give you points and you didn't deserve it?
No, but you didn't give me points that I did deserve.
I did?
It was like a 2 on this one.
That's a 4.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
the
he just
same.
wanted to point it out.
If it means the difference between an A and a B, let me know. We'll take care of you. And realize 68% on up's an A. So just kidding, Riley. Riley's like, oh sweet, I'm in.
He's lost.
I know. All right.
Says when is this pass fail class?
Okay. All right. So this is the same idea. All we're going to do when it's in this notation is we're going to use synthetic division on that as well. Now, one thing I want you to take a look at is this. I'm going to go back a slide and take a look at this. Notice what I'm dividing by. I want f at 2. I'm doing a 2. If I go back a slide, I actually take the opposite of it to divide by it. Does that make sense? So if I have a binomial that I'm dividing by, I need to set that binomial equal to 0 and get my value. If I want a term at a certain location, I just divide by that. And then synthetic division, 6, 4, 8, 10, 20, 15. Okay? And then it's the same idea. You have to recognize that f at 2 is x minus 2. Okay? And then my degree on this, if I wanted to write it back out, is 3x squared minus 4x plus 10 plus 15x minus 2. What is the function at 2 equal to? It's equal to this. That means that the point 2 comma 15 exists on this graph. Is 2 comma 15 an important point? No, not really. It's just a point that exists. Okay? If it was 2 comma 0, what would that mean it is? Yeah, it's crossing the x-axis, so it means it's a root. And then further along, we might not see here at Algebra 2, but they'll actually give you something saying, hey, is there a solution or a root or a 0, all means the same thing, between these 2 points? And that might give you f at 2 and f at 3. And the reason you would know that there would be a root is your remainder on one of them would be positive, the remainder on the other one would be negative. That means there's a sign change. If there's a sign change, that means that it had to cross the x-axis in between. That's kind of your pre-calculus for the day. Let's go back to Algebra 2. Just so next year when they ask you that, and you're like, dude, Stirrup told me this, and you blabber out something that sounds really good, and your teacher's like, no, he's wrong! Don't blame me.
Why aren't you choosing it next year?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what my schedule is next year.
I'm retaking this class. So.
You're retaking it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just doing whatever you teach, Mr. Stroh.
Okay. This is how I always do my schedule. Mr. Dwyer, who's the math coordinator, comes up. Hey, what do you want to teach next year? And I always say, whatever you have left. So you guys were a gift to me because you were part of whatever was left. Seriously.
I mean, at least you get to stir up the mix every once in a
No,
while.
but like when he was sitting there assigning classes, he's like, oh, I guess we can put Mr. Stirrup there, and then I got you. So sweet. So dividing by x minus 2 has the same result as synthetic division for f at 2. Okay, so I guess the main point on this is they want you to recognize that this and this really do mean the same thing as far as roots go. That's the important thing there. I think I had unslided yourself. How many more slides I have? This was like 19 pages. That one. I mean, I killed like 14 forests on the way in today.
Those are a lot of trees today.
All right. All right, remainder theorem. All right, remainder theorem. If a polynomial, f at x, so f at 2, f at 5, whatever, is divided by x minus k, then the remainder is f at k. What the heck does that mean? When we either synthetically divided or not, whatever our remainder down here was, that's it. That's all it is. So this is a function in the y direction is what's taking place. Caution, synthetic division only works for degree 1 divisors. We've already talked about this. Okay? So if it's x plus 5, it's going to work. X minus 2, it's going to work. X squared plus 2 doesn't work because it's x squared. You gotta go to long division. All right, what substitution will you divide by on each? See if you guys catch on. That's what I would divide by if I was from my divisors. Yes? Because of a synthetic division. Anyone stuck on that?
Passion.
Cool. Dude, we moved along like 9 slides automatically. Okay, synthetic division's totally going to work. So I'm going to divide by 5.
Man, this is like Fallout 4. This is a whole technical lot of cities. It's a video game map.
All right. Is that okay with what I'll divide by? Does anyone need to see this worked out? I'll do it quick. Anyone want to take a shot at what this answer is? It started out as x to the 4th, so what's this going to be?
X to the 3rd.
Yeah. X to the 3rd, 0x squared, 0x plus 4 minus 3 over x minus 5. Wait, where did that go? Wait. Right? No. Do I have to put 0x squared? Do I have to put 0x? I can if I want. I don't need to, though. Okay? So again, synthetically dividing on this one down here. Remember, I take opposite. I have a 1. I have a 0, -2, and a 12. Everyone okay with those? Break it down. 1. What is that? Okay, so my answer is going to be, it was x to the 3rd. What's my answer going to be in? X squared. Oh, yeah.
X squared.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, buddy.
Plus -9 over x plus 3. So that whole thing's my answer. I just kind of ran out of room. Sorry about that. Dude, how can you expect us to do well when you keep running out of space? I'm sorry.
I guess he's just spacing out.
Calm down, man.
Funny guy.
He's not a mushroom. Am I almost done?
No.
I'm not. Watson, I'm still educating you. It's going to be a good day. Synthetic division, yes or no? What am I dividing by then?
4. -4.
No, positive 4. It's opposite.
Why?
Because it's not the F
I'm just
thing.
kidding. I'm playing with you.
That's why. All right, -1, -12. Does anyone need me to do this?
I'll do it for you.
All right, 2, 8, 1, 4, 3, 12, 0. Hey! What is 4? What is 4 and why?
Perfect square.
It's not a perfect square. You're
Root.
true. It's what?
Root.
Why?
Because it's on the 0.
What's a 0?
Y.
Yes. Okay, so this means, because I have a 0 here, this means that 4, 0 is a solution to the problem. Okay? So then, what's great about this problem is I found a root. I have a root at x minus 4. That's a root. Okay, you set it equal to 0, you get it. Okay? This becomes 2x squared plus 1x plus 3. I guess you could see if you wanted to factor that and see if it factors down. Okay, it might. I don't know. But do you notice it went from the 3rd power to the 2nd power? I don't know if it'll factor or not.
Probably not.
Let's just assume it won't. And move on and call it good. All right. When we get a final value, oh man, I got stuff to remove. There we go. When we get a final value of 0 from synthetic substitution for f at k, we know that x minus k is a factor of the polynomial. It means this is 0. Yay! I love it. Factor theorem. A polynomial f at x has a factor at x minus k if and only if f at k equals 0. So if we use synthetic division or long division, if my remainder is 0, or in synthetic division, the far right, bottom right is 0, we have a solution. It means it's crossing the x-axis. We're going to use synthetic division. Plug -5 in. Good. Negative 5, 1, negative 1.
5 equals 0, you just use negative 5.
So they're just saying, we're verifying this is a root. Let's see, 1, negative 1, negative 21, positive 45. Bring it down, 1, that's negative 5, negative 6, that's 30, that's 9, that's negative 45, 0. What can you tell me at f at negative 5 definitely is happening? It's a root. We have a 0. Because I have a 0 right here and I have a 0 right here, that verifies that we have one of the solutions. We have one of the roots. We have one of the zeros. Those are all the same term. How many more pages? 2. Everyone good? All right. Let's see, what does that say? I think we'll be okay. All right, guys and girls. So worksheet I is due tomorrow. First thing. Worksheet J, evens. Is that okay?
Yeah.
If you don't know what evens are, ask your friend. It's 2, 4, 6, 8. If you still can't figure out, do them all and guarantee you'll get there.
What do we? Oh, good thing I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, and if you have any old homework, please bring it up to me. Thanks for your patience with that.
Have a good day.
J. Yeah.